Jody, we are back, my friend. We're back.
Yes, good morning, everybody out there. Before you guys join us, Jay Clean, Dan Woolley, what's going on? And to all my Canadian friends, well, before we get into all that, thanks for joining us on the show. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Mr. Plexman's in the house. Good morning. Yes, everybody, early start. But first things first, to all my Canadian friends out there, hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving yesterday, including yourself, Mr. Ryan Espy.
I did. You know, despite some things that we will get into later on in the show.
Yeah.
Because it's been Jody, it's been just eating at me. Because this kind of thing is happening more and more often in our sport, and we're gonna have one motherfucker of a soapbox coming up.
Yes.
Like we got, and pardon me, I think I just demonetized us because we're in the first 2 minutes of the video, but
oh, that's all right. It'll be, everybody wants to know what's the soapbox. Where's Scott? Is Scott in here yet? Because
Scott is not here yet, but I'm sure he'll be in here soon enough. Well, let's talk about the event. Let's talk about the positives. Let's stay positive today, Jody, for a little while until it's time. What are they like on Roadhouse? Be nice.
Yes. Well,
time to not be nice.
I've learned, well, first of all, the fact that Earl Wilson was in the house and competed was a treat. The fact that Lori Powell was in the house, and we're talking two Canadian multi-time national, multi-time world champion, and Hall of Famers were in the house. And that right there is a treat. Do you agree?
That is a treat. I mean, sometimes you take for granted, like Lori, for example, because I see her all the time. But she is a legend in the sport, a Hall of Famer, a multi-time WAF champion. And her being there is special. Earl being there, I did not know Earl was coming until just a few days ago. He showed up to originally just kind of coach with Sarah.
Yeah.
And then he ended up not only refereeing, but competing.
And I got a taste of that world level pulling. And I'm telling you right now, it is something. And I'm like, wow. So,
and it was in a 231 class.
Yeah.
So Earl pulled in a much lighter division than I've seen him in quite a while.
So questions were coming out like, hey, is Earl okay? I didn't know Earl weighed that less. I'm thinking, he looked good to me. But yeah, this is not the Earl of 245, 250. It wasn't that version, but it's not like Earl's been training for this particular event. He just so happened that, hey, I'm going to be in the court of my daughter because she's taking on Gabby. And why I'm here, why not throw my name in the hat and see what happens? So, and congrats, because in that 231 class, Earl took first, left and right. So,
that's the crazy thing too is, you got to remember, for one thing, Earl was never a huge super heavyweight.
No.
Like he's not a guy that you see in the gym doing a ton of squats, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So he's an upper body guy. He's a specialist, and Dan Woodley, he came in there kind of untrained, but if you look at Earl, he still looks strong, and he got the job done. And we got to hang out with him all night, and let's see, who should we say focusing on the positives? Tim Good did a really good job running the tournament. Ward was there reffing. Jose was there reffing. Ben Clausen, surprisingly good referee, local kid from that area, and really, really strong up-and-coming arm wrestler. Would have loved to see him in that 231 class.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
He's a strong kid, but he's saving it. I think he might be competing next weekend.
Hey, we can put a bow tie on the show at the end and talk about the big event, because I didn't realize how big this event until you actually said something. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that right at the end, after we're done all the other business. So let's start off with Alex Martisis versus Eli Sadoff.
I thought that would have been. I didn't think it would end the way it did. I thought it would have been a lot closer.
It was a titch one-sided, wasn't it?
Yes, that was just like the first match. Alex won. I'm thinking, okay, Eli will come back, and I'm in Eli's corner. So I'm thinking, okay, hey, can you get him in the strap? Can you keep him out of the strap? Can you keep that wrist? Not allow Alex to flex, but just keep him that wrist straighten up, And Alex was just too much, and Alex is another one of those guys that doesn't get the recognition he deserves from where I'm sitting at, so.
Good way of putting it, because Alex is one of the most underrated guys at that weight. He is surprisingly strong and good and has wins over a number of guys. He had a win over Anthony Dell'Antonia back when Anthony was, considered one of the tip of the spear guys. Mauritius. I get that wrong every time. So somebody was calling him Alex Martinez during the event.
He was not happy. His wife was not happy. And, good morning, Victoria. How are you this morning?
Yes. Anyway, we will try to get his name right from now on and going forward. Mauritius. And Alex is an awesome arm wrestler who needs to get a good opponent at a big event soon.
Ward Drake's in the house. Good morning, Ward. Once again, thank you for the ride to the airport. That in itself was an adventure too. So,
look at what my lovely wife has to say here.
Your wife is waiting for the soul box, ain't she?
You had a sneak peek of it probably for the last 3 days off and on. Every time I got a message from somebody else asking me what the hell happened. However, moving on. Yeah, Dan, he's got some big guns too. He's got, watch for him going forward.
Yes, please.
Now, match number 2, I believe, was Jody Williams versus the event promoter, Billy Berg.
Okay, everybody. So here's the deal.
And here's the controversy, Jody, because you had a corner man who was on Team North.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. Before all this, got going, you have to know, I think as early as the spring, when we do our shows and Billy would get on and, hey, how about Billy versus Jody? I'm thinking, okay, that's a good one. Keep it moving. And then every show after that we do, it was on and on and on. And finally, when he came up with this idea of North versus South, he asked me again. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know. Then finally I just catered and says, yes, let's go ahead and do it. So, and I'll leave that nugget right there for the time being. So fast forward to this past Saturday. And a lot of people asked me, or actually a lot of people were telling me that it'd be an easy match. You'll win. It should be no problem. But I always like to sit there and downplay everything, because you never know, right? You never know what people's mind frame is. I don't know anything about Billy as far as training, what he does, what he doesn't do, this, that, and the other. So when you had Chocolate Thunder, Iceberg going at it, okay. I felt like I was in full control the entire time. The one move that kind of worried me when he flopped wrist pressed me, and I put some tension into my elbow. I was like, oh, didn't know he had a press. Okay, cool. So then after that, I kind of just, my first thought was play defense mechanism on that particular move, and I can go from there. So if he did it, I'd block it, then I can kind of go where I need to go. Long story short, I try to get that thing over as quick as I can. So 3-0 was the final score in my favor, and that's how that went. So,
yep. Nothing. Puzzling though.
Yes.
Puzzling that he says, you were his hardest opponent, and I'm not taking away anything from you, but I've seen him get I've seen the other matches, and some of them don't slow down at all.
Didn't he have a match a couple The only video I have to see of him lately was what's the one he had?
Mark Harrison.
Was that the one that was outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only match I hadn't had any footage on him, and it kind of went the same way. So,
yeah. Anyway, that's I'm reading down Woodley's comment. Had crazy thunderstorms here in Canada this past weekend. Must have been chocolate thunderstorms.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Excellent. Then we got Jeff Dabe versus Solomon Latimer.
So here, newsflash, people. To pull Jeff Dabe, do not try to attack his hand.
See, I completely disagree with you because that's where I've had success opening not his fingers, but his wrist will come open. Even in the strap. Yeah. So, but you have to have a lot of posting back pressure to make that work.
And the reason why I said that is because Jim Ross was there.
Good old JR. Yeah.
So, Eli Sadoff, who's basically a 198 puller, decided he was also going to pull the supers just because. I think he really wanted to pull some of the bigger guys to see where he stood. So, Eli is up against Jeff Dabe, and I'm standing to the side and I'm filming it for Eli. And then Sarah Wilson whispers to me and says, "Hey, how would you pull Jeff?" I was like, "I would attack his wrist and bicep. I wouldn't attack his hand." So Eli goes right into a hook drag, turns him over, pins him.
Okay.
And I thought that was just, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. But I always thought that if somebody with a big hand, you try to attack that hand, it's not, because it's so enormously big. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Every time I've pulled him, I've kind of attacked that hand and wrist a bit because I think people just shy away. And I think maybe Jeff takes for granted that it's so it's such a gift to him that people will avoid it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that Solomon attacked him every way you possibly could. Like he had the opportunity to hit him in every position.
Correct.
Press, hook, top roll, everything he could. He threw the kitchen sink at him and he slowed him down and actually looked good in a couple of positions.
Mm-hmm.
So the match was more competitive than it probably was assumed it was going to be.
Yeah, Jeff ends up winning 3-0, but it wasn't like he just mowed right through him. And there were some grinders within that. So
yeah, entertaining. Then it comes up to me and Cody.
And
the co-main.
You were in my corner. I was in your corner. See that, people?
Yep. Cody, what can I say, man? I knew he would be strong. I knew it was a tough task. I knew he was not the same guy that I pulled in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And outside the strap, I felt pretty good. And, there's a couple matches where I was actually holding onto his fingers to prevent him from slipping.
I thought once you had this, I thought you were going to squeeze hard and then kind of get your shoulder behind it and come down on it. But he was kind of pulling back to where
there's a couple of things though, right? Like you get a guy like that, you can literally snap their finger off.
Right.
And you gotta be mad at a guy to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say mad, just to the point, not particularly at the guy, but just more of, okay, I'm not letting this get out again, because my original knee-jerk reaction is, once he's trying to bail out like this and you got those fingers like that, you want to just get in there and just try to press down.
Yeah.
At the same time, Cody was pulling back so far that by the time, if you were to get up and do that, your elbow would have came off the front pad anyway.
Yeah. So the positives, no matches were decided on fouls.
But at the same time, don't take this the wrong way, Ryan, but I'm kind of glad it was over the way it was because you have 2 mega matches coming up this weekend. So, yes.
Yeah, that's true. It was a gamble on my part to get out of there kind of uninjured and unscathed.
No injuries, though, right?
Nope.
Okay, because you didn't say anything. So,
Some aches and pains, but nothing that won't be good by the weekend.
got it. Then the main event. That would be Sarah Wilson.
Yeah,
Gabriella.
Jake Queen. It's just a matter of Cody and I just doing this all the time.
Yeah.
So we're not finished. Like I said Friday night, this isn't the end of the story. It's just the end of this chapter.
Yes.
So we will continue. And then we got Sarah Wilson versus Gabriella Vasconcelos. And again, it was 3-0, but that doesn't tell the whole story.
Especially if you saw round 2.
Yeah. Gabby in round 1, she hit right to the pin. But in that hit, her wrist folded open.
Mm-hmm.
So in round 2, you have Sarah attacking Gabby and actually getting some purchase on her wrist.
But slowed her initial hit down.
Yeah. So this was not as one-sided as people might have thought. And I think, and I said this to Sarah too, that in losing, her stock went up.
I was just going to say that because you and I have talked before that even though people can lose, your stock can still rise.
Yes. This is one of those cases.
Billy Berg's stock won't rise, but Sarah's did. So,
well, it depends. I mean, depends who you ask.
Yeah. So just to catch everybody up, if you didn't see the pay-per-view, it's on all the matches were on Arm Sports.
What pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, sorry. All the super matches were on Arm Sports Entertainment. So if you missed it, look up that promotion. All the super matches were there. But again, the crowd after round 2 was like, oh, okay, because Gabby looked like, oh, you look human for a second, because when Gabby hit and Sarah kind of stopped her and then surged to kind of get behind us, like, oh, okay, now we got something. And then Gabby was like, oh, really? And kind of just wham, where I thought, okay, is Sarah okay? Because it seemed like I could see that inner elbow absorbed an awful lot of power on that last surge.
Yeah. But we walk away from that match thinking, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And then round number 3, it was kind of a straight hit, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Just straight, like, okay, I'm done playing. Let's go ahead and just whack, get it done.
Finished fast because I think, I think Gabby might have underestimated her off the first couple of goes.
But
so it was competitive. It was more competitive than some.
So the final tally, the South won 4-1 total.
Yep. Only Alex brought it home for Canada.
Yes, and they were all one-sided. So just to kind of put that out there. But nonetheless,
and then we had a big tournament.
But think about it, though. The array of talent just in the super matches. And you were like, wow, when was this? And yeah, it could have been promoted a little bit better, but still is enough to where, in the middle of nowhere, Manitoba. So, yes.
Yep. So now, where do you want to go now, Jody? The tournament, quick?
Do we really have to? I mean, we can.
Not really. We don't have to. The tournament was we talked about Earl competing, and that was one of the big highlights. Tim was in there, and he had the best match of the whole thing was Tim versus Earl.
Not only did Earl just says, I'm gonna just see what happens, he also got his name drawn and won the golden ticket, by the way.
Yeah.
And who's
so if you're keeping score so far, those golden tickets were to basically ensure you an opportunity to compete in a super match at a future event with all of your expenses paid and blah blah blah. So,
and that, my friend, will segue into our soapbox. Dan Woodley, Jay Clean, Victoria, SB, and the rest of the people on this chat. We are about to begin the soapbox as it is. Do you want to take the first bite?
Well, first of all, Earl didn't cheat for the golden ticket. What are we talking about here? I can tell you that Earl probably, well, I shouldn't say that. No.
Do they know that the name was drawn out of a bowl?
Yeah, it was all the first place winners were drawn.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway, go on, Jody. Go on. I'll jump in when I
buckle up. Yes, Michael, buckle up.
Jay, this is a sensitive subject because those golden tickets should be made out of toilet paper because that's their only value at this point.
Okay, so everybody in the chat, here's the deal. Now, I can start so many ways, but it'll all come back to what happened Saturday. So, if you are a promoter, okay, think about this now. If you're a promoter and there are some elite pullers, awesome pullers, world caliber pullers, and you want them to attend your event, right? And they say no, but they say, hey, I'll make it worth your while. We'll go ahead and we'll pay for your airfare. Antennas go up. So,
can I ask you a follow-up question before you answer that?
Yes.
What if you have, basically fielded offers from other promoters over the years for triple the amount that you were promised at this event, and you said no, and you do somebody a favor by agreeing to give someone, a new promoter, a deal for far less money,
right,
just to come and put on an event that people have been or a match that people have been asking for a long time. Kind of in the same vein.
It's like this, Ryan. Slap in the face, right? White Wolf, be ready. Warren, welcome to the show. Because I'll tell you what, before this North versus South came up, and I had mentioned earlier in the show that Bill's been wanting to match with me, and I was like declining. And then he goes, hey, I'm getting ready to, off the air. He had got a hold of me and says, hey, I'm on the put on this North versus South event. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Ryan, what are you thinking about this North and South? Now, here's the thing. I was told by the organizer himself, who is not Armed Sports Entertainment. Armed Sports Entertainment did not do anything wrong in this instance, just so you know. Yes, Sarah, here we go. Now, if the organizer of the event said, hey, I will pay for your airfare. Okay. And then later on says, hey, just go ahead and buy your ticket. I will refund you when you get here. Steinbach, Manitoba. Okay. Now, aside from that, the organizer and myself agreed upon $250 for the super match, paid by the sponsor. Okay, no big deal. So I'm thinking, if I'm getting my airfare paid for, hotel's already taken care of, and there's an opportunity to win an additional $250, which that got talked down from $1,000, by the way. Let's not forget that. Then
you talked him down because you thought it was. Didn't you feel guilty or something?
I did, because I didn't think our match. First of all, out of the 5 matches, we were up second, so that tells you I know right there. Our match would have been the main event on a Tuesday night. Okay, let's get that straight. Now, I'm thinking, all right, we're good to go. So I arrive in Winnipeg, got the ride to Steinbach to the venue and stuff. And I'm thinking, all right, let's get this thing rolling. Here's my personal experience. We were under intention because we got picked up by the guy who runs the hotel portion / restaurant, whatever. And he picked up Eli, Tim Tomich, and myself. So from the organizer, we thought we had our own rooms. Let's start with that. We get there. Manager says, hey, there's not enough rooms. You guys are going to have to share. Like, what do you mean we have to share? we were under the impression that we had our own. So we called the organizer going, hey, guess what? What's this about us sharing? Okay. 5 minutes later, after some communication, cool. We got our keys. We got our own rooms. No big deal. Fast forward, we'll fast forward Friday night, which wasn't a seminar, it's a meet and greet. We'll fast forward to that. Day of the tournament, I see the organizer. He's, stressed out, which I get. Asked him, I was eating breakfast. How you feel today? Oh, I feel pretty good. I feel better now. It's going to be a fun event. Awesome. So when does the money thing take place? He goes, we will all get together when the event's done. All of us will get together. So I'm thinking everybody involved. I'm thinking basically everybody who was involved in the super matches will all have a big powwow and discuss this thing and divvy it up. No problem. I got it. All right. So I did my portion. 3-0. Smack, smack, smack. Pez dispenser top roll, won. I'm thinking, all right, cool. Now we go through the tournament. I took second to Earl Wilson. Nothing to hang my head about, by the way. So I was enjoying myself. The team won. As the tournament was starting to wind down, the promoter was looking rather stressed out. The body language, the sweating on the head, to the point where he was dodging questions from the athletes. Hey, can we talk? Yo, yeah, I'll get to you in a second. Let me go take care of this.
Can I jump in quick just to
Please
tell you
do.
something about Ward Drake?
Please
So
do.
Ward Drake shows up there on Saturday, and my wife says, what room are you in, Ward? And he shows a room key with a number 13 on it. We had the same room. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there, but go on.
That part's funny. What I'm about to say is not funny. So, anyway, so all of us, Ryan, Victoria, myself, Ward, Eli, Tim, we're all, Alex, his wife, Cherry, we're all in one section, sipping on beverages, gnawing on nachos or whatnot. And we're like going, something's not right here. Like, we all need to get paid, but yet he's not talking to us. So he goes one by one, pulls Cody Merritt over. They talk about whatever. Then he pulls Gabriella and her husband, Vitor, over, talk about whatever. By this point, we all know, okay, something's not adding up. Something's wrong. What's going on? Because the way it was explained to us, we were all, like all of us, were going to sit down and talk about this. So when you pull somebody one-on-one, something's not adding up. So I'm thinking, all right, you know what? He's done talking to Gabby. I'm going to step in there. I said, hey, is it my turn? He goes, yeah. All right, come in there. So what's going on? Well, there's been a mishap with the money situation. Now, hear me out. The ticket I purchased was American money, right? And I'm thinking, okay, my money I'm getting back from you better not be Canadian money. No offense. We know the exchange, right?
None taken.
Right. And the super match money, what's up with that? So apparently this is a situation where the promoter put the cart in front of the horse, and a lot of people were pissed off. And I'm going to say this. Some people got paid, others didn't. And I'm going to take a step back and drink this coffee if you want to pick up where I left off.
Absolutely. So all I know is I will I talked to everybody that went and had one of these meetings. I will going into details because it's kind of their story. A lot of them got partial payments. I know that a few of them got partial payments. I got $0 of what I was promised. I got no expenses covered. Got my room covered. That's about it. Referees didn't get paid. Gabby and Vitor got some money and expect the rest, but do not, don't know where they're at with that. But that's a long way to come from.
They got 10 days.
Well, they said they need it by the 20th. Cody didn't get paid all his money. One gentleman got paid his flight because he threatened to beat the shit out of him.
I probably should have went that route, and all of a sudden, here's the money right here.
and got his $400 for his flight. That's his story anyway. Was what happened. And
yes, Dan Willie.
here's
Yes.
my issue. 4 months ago, I started bugging the promoter and saying, "You got this under control. You got this taken care of." And the story always was, "Yeah, I got this. It's all good. We're fine. We're fine." This has been happening with promoters in Canada a little bit more frequently than we're told, because some people are more patient and wait for money to come in. This is not one of those scenarios. This is like, you're not having a one-off super match. This is everybody got shorted here. Everybody. Nobody got the 100% amount they were promised.
Right.
And most of them didn't get anything. Like, Jody, you got nothing.
I got nothing from the promoter, but Arm Sports Entertainment saw what was going down and was like, F this. Jody's my boy. He works for Arm Sports Entertainment. So you know what? Arm Sports Entertainment decided, hey, I got $300 in cash. I'm a party with that while I'm in Canada.
Well, and then him saying to you, like, tell Ryan to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm being nice. I'm being nice as I can be.
You tell me, everybody in the chat, how nice is Ryan supposed to be when he was offered what, appearance fee, and he was offered whatever money on top of that and got nothing?
Yeah. It's not nowhere. I mean, I know it's 2 hours away from my house. Okay. But promises were made and broken.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there were promoters out there that were offering Cody and I triple the amount to do this match. Triple. And this was a good deal for him. So anyway, right up until the day before the event, I'm like, are you good? Are you good? You got this under control? And then when we had our meeting, I said, remember what I told you when you started this venture? He said, what's that? I said, you get one chance. You fuck this up, it's over. And the response was, what are you trying to tell me? Like, you're done fucking running events. Sorry, but you're done. You will not recover from this.
Right.
And he's like, you're telling me I should stop? I'm like, yes, that's what I'm telling you. Never do this again. If this was your plan to be a promoter for your whole life, this was your life's work, find something else. Go back to school, go get a job, because this is not something you can recover from.
Yeah.
I don't care if you make it good with every other arm wrestler that came here and you pay it all back.
That's the least he can do.
It's not going to be something you can do in the future. If you're going to run an event, have the money in place before you get the arm wrestlers there, before you book them, before you book your venue.
And the thing is, there was talks about him having a second one. I'm like,
well, he was bringing up his next event already. And I believe my wife gave him a mom talk right there on the spot about not even mentioning another event until everyone from this one is paid.
Even then, I would just take a back seat because, like you said before, I was part of another situation from a Canadian that did that and had a bunch of big time athletes, and not all of them got paid. And I'm like, okay. So I guess the moral of the story is that if you're going to put on an event, don't promise things you can't keep, right? Don't do that. And
he's not alone. There's at least 2 other promoters in Canada that have had similar stuff, but not to this level. Like this level, and they made good, and they had agreements to make good.
Mm-hmm.
This is not like, the trend in Manitoba is that you get about 80, 90 entries at an event. You get 80 and 90 entries. That is the trend. The 156 entries that you had at the East versus West qualifier do not carry over or translate because that was a huge thing at the time. Like, you could qualify to go to Virginia and compete in the East versus West qualifiers for an opportunity for a super match in East versus West. This was not that. This was just a one-off super match. Your money should have come from a pay-per-view. It should have come from sponsors. It didn't. There was no pay-per-view set up. We bugged him, and this was not Tim Talmadge's fault, which you
Correct.
might be told at some point, because he was never supposed to be involved in that side of it. There was supposed to be other stuff going on. And
Right.
Jody and I were bugging him for posters and information to share and promote this for months, and it didn't come. Like I said, Billy, like, fuck, the Monster Factory posters are out already. That event's in December.
Right. And the thing is, though, is that, you know, I'm like, dude, when you get in the poster, because me being the guy that I am, I like to help promote stuff, put it on social media over and over. When the promoter said, I'm going to do it and my wife's going to do it, and bro, we're like 3 weeks out. What the fuck? And then Arm Sports decides, hey, F it, I'll do it, because we're getting a lot of questions that we can't answer. And that's looking bad on our side. So Tim got it together and said, hey, let's get this poster done. He did it. Then we started blasting this poster left and right, right and left, up and down. And I'm thinking, okay, I hope we get all the people that want to know what's going on. Now, I didn't know about this until I was at the event. And talking to the promoter, I was kind of upset. And I'm walking back to where to meet everybody else, where you guys are in the lounge, I get pulled by Jose Mornay. And she said, hey, I'm sorry things went the way they did, but I want you to know that not everybody from Manitoba are like this. I said, no, I don't blame you guys at all. I don't. This is something that's a promoter situation that he miscalculated. And
so,
you know,
I'll throw another wrinkle in there.
Yeah.
So this is like, I can't handle the lies. That's the problem. So Billy gives everyone a song and dance about how he's going to sell his camper. He's going to list it tomorrow. He's going to sell his camper to help pay everyone back. Well, it's October, so it's the end of a season. In Steinbach alone, there's like 60 of these things listed. I looked. And then I say, where's the camper listing? Well, he sends it to me the next day. It's been listed for 3 weeks before the event.
So already he
knew a month out that he did not have the money for this.
Can you highlight?
He wasn't getting it.
Can you highlight Jay Clean's comment for a second? Because Jay, I need you to understand something. Jay Clean says,
this one here?
Yes, you can't show your face after this. Arm wrestling is too fucking niche of a sport for people to do this. Well, Jay Clean, I hate to bust your bubble, but there is an event next weekend in Manitoba, the big Manitoba versus Saskatchewan. I guess that's a big thing for you guys.
It's been like 20 years and like running. Like, it's been a big thing. It's been around forever.
So Jay Clean, I hope you have popcorn when I'm about to say this, but that particular person will show his face anyway because his wife has a super match that day. So that in itself is like, what the fuck? Sorry, I'm about to get rated R now. What the fuck? After all that, and then you have the gall to show up at the next event. Ward, I understand. You know, I get it. I get it, man. But I'm telling you right now. And the thing is, though, the only people that are really pissed off are the people who are involved in the super matches, because those were the athletes that were promised money.
Well, now, here's the other thing, though.
What's that?
$50 an arm for the fucking, like, the $50 an arm for a $5 medal shit needs to stop. If you're going to charge $50 an arm, at least that award should be worth $50.
And then charge people $10 at the door. Did I forget to mention that part?
Yeah.
And then don't forget about the VIP, you know.
And the venue holds about 100 people. So even if it was packed to the rafters, you weren't making that money back.
No, but I think and Jose was telling me that she says, well, maybe it's because the fact he didn't get the interest he thought because there's a big event the next weekend, which is why a lot of people didn't compete.
He knew about the event next weekend when he booked this date. He knew about the event.
Yeah. See, I didn't know about that until the night before because you said, "Oh yeah, I got 2 matches." Solomon on one hand, and who's the other guy you're pulling?
Steve Gaber.
Yeah. So that right there, I'm thinking, "Oh crap, that's next week." Well, hell, because now you're putting people in. And how far is Steinbach from where the event next week will be?
About 3 hours drive.
Okay, so now you have 2 events, back-to-back weekends, 3 hours difference, and now you're at a point. If you're an athlete, you're at a crossroads going, which event do I go to? Do I go to the one where, man, I get a chance to meet, Cody Merritt? I get a chance to meet Gabriella, take pictures. There's Chocolate Thunder. I want to see what this guy's all about. There's Jeff Day. Or do you go to the event that's been running for years and years and years, and it's a very staple of an event for Saskatchewan and Manitoba? Which one do I go to? You know what I mean?
Well, and the entry fee at Ward's event, Ward's running it, by the way, is much less.
Yeah.
So, and Ward's always giving away pretty awesome prizes too. So it depends on what you want. Like, I mean, the other thing is, 3 weeks before this event, nobody knew about it. Like, we're trying to get the promotional materials out there, and Tim came up with the posters. But it's not Tim's fault. This was when Billy figured out he couldn't do this on his own and asked Tim to do it. So Tim had to pump these out in a very expedient fashion because it wasn't getting done, but it was never his responsibility in the first place.
Right. I panicked to the point like, man, I never even told my wife what was going on because I'm thinking, should I get a refund on my air ticket, like airfare? Should I get a refund? Because I was that concerned because it was like, like when are these flyers coming out, dude? Like what are we doing here?
Jay Clean, here's the deal. I'm going to highlight this. So, me personally, I drove 2 hours, right? Fact of the matter is, I lose that opportunity elsewhere because I took the loss in that match. So it does impact me a little bit. But let me tell you who it does impact. Gabriella and her husband take days and days off work because that's how long it takes to fly here. Stay for a couple days and go back. Like, that's a Brazil flight. Like, it's not. That's a solid 7 days from door to door, as far what I would estimate.
Oh yeah.
Plus, there's an appearance fee in there for sure, and then some pretty expensive flights. Like, we're talking thousands of dollars here, not like a couple grand.
Yeah. So not only that, I'm not saying my situation is any more worse than theirs, but not to rank these, but like you just said, Vitor and Gabby, like, okay, what the fuck? Cody Merritt agreed, and his original plan was, hey, I'm going hunting. But you know what, though? You make it worth my while. I get to pull Ryan, a match we're supposed to be having the last couple years. Yeah, I'll do it. So Cody missed out on hunting, which he loves to do, by the way. It's October. It's what you do, right? For me, if I was not going to be able to get refunded or whatever, I wouldn't have went. I'm not saying that, we're poor, but like, hey, if we're getting that money back, not a big deal, but I'm asked out, on top of the 250 I won. And once again, I'll go ahead and put this. Originally, Billy wanted to pull for 1,000. I'm like, stop talking. No, 250 is fine. Don't break yourself on the match between you and I. And anybody that watched that match, do you think that was worth $1,000? Right? And then go back to what you said, Ryan. There could have been multiple organizations that was willing to pay top dollar for a match between you and Cody. I could think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Knuckles Up probably would have did some good
stuff. We could have done the same event and got paid at Brian Kerner always wanted that match. And then we had, Tim would have probably put it on at one of his events.
Right. So you got Brian Kerner would have done it. Tim Thomas would have done it. Knuckles would have done it, right?
Knuckles Up would have done it.
I'm sure Magga would probably love to have that.
We always talk, like Billy was on here, and I always pumped up to Knuckles Up guys. I promoted the shit out of those guys because they do it right.
Mm-hmm.
They book your flights. They give you what you agreed to. They treat you like gold. And Billy was sucking all that up. He was eating it up. He was, taking notes, thinking, okay, this is going to be that. What about the opposite of that? Like, Man, I think I got a cheeseburger out of the deal, to be honest. Like Billy paid for my cheeseburger and fries on Friday night. Like that's what I got. So I guess I didn't go away empty-handed.
Well, I mean, and the thing is though, is that you try to find a silver lining in this whole situation, and it's really not. But I did ask you a question the other day, and I want to ask a question to the chat. So, at what point, because I had this talk with my wife, and she seemed to be more upset than I was. Um, at what point does the athlete say, hey, because I always felt weird about this, but after talking with her about this for a long, long time, basically she says, you got to start asking, hey, this is how much I'm worth. If you can't do it, I'm not coming, end of. And I've always been weird about that because at what point, when you're
Well,
a
it's
world
now.
champion, elite athlete, at what point do you say, hey, you want me to come to your event? You got to pay me this? Because I was always weird about that, you know?
Well, it depends who it is, because I mean the deals that made in advance.
Hmm.
You got Engen, who would never do this to anybody. Like you show up, I am, certain. Even World Arm Wrestling League, like I went home without money because they wire you the money after, but you know it's going to happen. You don't,
Right.
you're not worried about it. You're not worried that this big organization is going to screw you over.
Hmm.
So there's people you can trust. Like when Michael Todd says, book your flight, we'll take care of it when you get here. I trust that
Right.
completely. It's not. It just depends who it is. The established people, but I think that what it comes down to in these newer promotions and new promoters, get the money up front, man. Like that's the way it's got to be, and ask for what you're worth. And if they're not going to pay you, don't go.
And that's the part I'm struggling with because, Cody has a price. You have a price. I don't know what my price is because it's always weird for me to be in that upper echelon. Now, am I an elite puller? No. Am I a good puller? Damn right. I bring charisma, excitement to my matches and stuff. I bring me. I bring my brand. But is my brand in comparison to like you guys? No, it's not. But at what point, because I feel like I got just it was a punch in the stomach basically. Because I feel like I'm worth more than what the fuck this guy, you know, I got treated like.
Yeah, and you know what? It's honesty would have fixed all of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you might have lost a couple of matches. You know, maybe he could have dialed it back a little bit a month ago. Some people would have canceled their flights, but
Right.
better that than this.
Yeah.
It's called having integrity.
Hopefully, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. I was told Wednesday that we might get some stuff going. I gave him my contact. Said, look, he responded by saying, hey, I get paid Wednesday. Hopefully we can get this thing rolling. I'm like, okay. But at the same time, I'm also thinking about everybody else too. So,
Well, you know what? I'm the only one that has a certain option. And
sorry, Phil Woody, you got in late. Basically, the athletes that were involved in the super matches that made the trip over there was promised money for multiple things, appearance fee,
see,
all
I
that
got
kind of
this
stuff.
option.
I can't even see that. That's how bad my eyes are right now. But we were promised money, and part of us got partial payment, and a lot of us got no payment just to get you caught up.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at.
And now it's like, well, crap. I probably had a better time. And the tournament itself was fine. Don't make any mistake about it because the tournament itself was fine. I'm speaking for myself because
Tournament of the event was great overall. Like the event from start to finish was good. It
yeah,
was ran by other people, almost 100%.
I tell you what, I bet you arm guys don't treat their athletes like that.
Well, no, we'd have heard about it because I know by the time I got home on Sunday, I had received messages from across Canada asking what the hell is going on. Are the rumors true? So for me to say, I was going to wait, we'll talk about this next week. That was original plan.
Mhm.
You know what, man, it's not going to affect anything. If he decides he's not going to pay me because we told the truth, then so be it. There's other ways to get that. But I mean, this is you don't recover from stuff like this. It doesn't matter if we kept it a secret or not. You just don't. The word's out because several people were asked to help cover the money and they all talked. They all talked.
What would make I there's a big fear right now, not for me, but for him because he is scheduled to show up to support his wife because she has a match. Does she not?
Yeah.
So they're gonna go down to Ward's event next Saturday or this coming Saturday. And everybody knows what the hell happened. What is that atmosphere going to look like when they show their faces?
Yeah, I think he's gonna watch this and not go, but it's yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one for me. It's gonna be a tough one to sit there.
He hasn't posted anything on social media except for that camper, but he's liked everybody's posting pictures and stuff from the event Saturday, but hasn't really made any kind of post yet. So there's kind of it's probably a good thing right now because it's still fresh in everyone's mind. So
Yeah.
I'm still broke. I mean, as far as that goes. So,
here's the deal here. So we got this comment. I've promoted probably 100 to 150 events, 2 national championships, and no matter what happened, we always made sure we recovered, even if I had to take $5,000 of my own money. At one point I did, and then some late sponsors came in. Now, if you don't have it, this whole if you build it, they will come attitude needs to stop because it's not something you can rely on.
that's happened in America too, Ryan. You
Yeah,
remember?
Mr. Peanuts comment here. This was back when they canceled that humongous tournament.
That was a Marvin Cohen thing, right? And then last minute,
Well,
I
this
think,
was WAL.
yeah. It was
This
a
was the
Frank Bean.
finals that was supposed to happen and got canceled, and we
Yeah.
all went anyway. And then Frank and Karen put on an event, and Travis was involved too.
Yeah.
And we basically competed for trophies, but we still went and competed because we all were flying there anyway.
But then they have like the hammers, and they put like stickers over them or whatever because
Yeah.
they try to say, yeah, there's that. And can you imagine that? This is what makes people not want to compete anymore. Just say, F it, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this. If it ain't steroids, it's something like this.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because some of us we're not getting any younger, man. So, I mean, you take these big matches, you hold on to them. Cody and I was always a match that was something going to happen at some point.
Mhm.
And we put it on for, as a favor to Billy a little bit, gave him a really good, reasonable deal on it.
Yeah.
And I never actually asked him for any money. He made me an offer for the money that he paid me. I never said, "What's my price?" He made me an offer, and I said, "Okay, that's fair." And Cody got pretty much the same offer, a little bit more because his flights were covered, and I did not have flights. I had gas money.
Mhm.
And here we are.
And don't give me this. Well, we never signed a contract. We never shook hands.
Oh, I have it
Don't
in
go there.
writing. I have it in writing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it was sent to me in a message that I still have. So when I
Oh,
look at
okay.
that court page that I showed you,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, he should just fork over the damn money at some point. And
So that's a legal document, yeah.
yeah,
Because I mean, all I have is text because I talked to him
Text messages can be used, but I mean, I'm the only one that lives in the province that it happened.
Right.
So it kind of ties everyone up.
Because September 12th was the last time I had talked to him and said, hey, because he asked me, hey, how much was your plane ticket? Oh, let me get that for you. So I photo screened it and sent it to him, and he said thumbs up. Okay, so I'm thinking up until this point, everything is good. I had no worries. And when he's posting on his social media, hey, I got another sponsor to help out, $1,000. Hey, $1,000 for this sponsor. Hey, the Friends In offered to sponsor $2,000. I'm thinking all this going on. I'm thinking we good. I ain't got nothing to worry about. That was my thought process going into it,
Yeah. But here we are. So where do we go from here? Well, Billy, if you're listening to this, don't try to put on another event. Don't do it.
Well, who's going to come at that point?
I don't know, man. He's going to have to raise like thousands of dollars and bring in the biggest names prepaid just to get people to come out. But
yeah, but you got to convince. The key word is you got to convince them. Convince.
Yeah.
Dang, now I'm like going, what kind of event Ward's going to have? You said he has cool event. He has cool awards, right?
Ward, what do you got? He's in the chat, so maybe he'll answer me.
Yeah, Jay Clean. I feel the same way, but I also feel like I just got kicked in the nuts because it's like the hell. And just to give you guys an example, I have never been to a tournament. And normally, we all know, Ryan, everybody in the chat, that after the tournament's all said and done, you do a little after pulling, you're having a good time, right? You're having a good time. And all of a sudden, we were all in the corner sitting like this, with our faces looking like this.
Yeah.
I think, and I want to really give credit to Alex because he's like, okay, let's keep the party going. Because he's like, fuck it, I know I'm not getting paid, so whatever.
Well, I showed up at your room with a glass of whiskey and dragged your ass back.
That's true. There was at one point, 4 people were, including myself, were in my hotel room. I had SB, I had Tim Talmatch, Eli Sadoff, and myself. I even had my wife on video chat. We're doing the math. We're saying what the fuck. Good scotch, by the way, Ryan. By the way, I just thought I'd throw it out there. We were like, what the fuck? That's how it was. The vibe was like, holy shit, and we're trying to, say a few jokes here and there, but it was just like, I can't believe we got slapped in the face like that,
Yep. So it is what it is, man. Ward says nothing fancy, but we're doing cash for left and right. So there you go.
And I don't know this for a fact, but I can guarantee you Ward will have that covered.
Oh, it's probably sitting there already. Yeah.
So, and the thing is, like, I do one tournament a year. My wife and I do. It's a foundation tournament. So, no, we're not going to sit there and have a bunch of cash for first, second, third. But you know that, hey, we're going to have awards there. And I don't know how much Billy said he spent on awards, but I know the awards that I get for our tournament go through Denise Waddles, and they're legit. Like, hard, heavy metal awards. And the ones we got, love the sticker, by the way. Plastic, right? So I don't know how much money he spent for that, but man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, guys went home with nothing, GB, nothing. So short it is an understatement. Like, it wasn't like he paid us half. It was like nothing. Anyway, it is what it is, and that's
I gotta recover. I'm supposed to be going to the World Series of Armwrestling Finals in San Diego next month. I'm trying to recover so I can make it down there, So
yeah. Well, I know there's some big names in arm wrestling that heard about it and they're like, holy shit, I'm glad I didn't agree to go to that tournament or that event. and also made the comment that they would not be going to any future events, which is kind of a given at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the ship is sunk, man. Go into find another sport. Go promote pickleball. Do what you got to do.
It's a kick in the nuts, and so now I got to be very careful about tournaments I go to now because of this. It's just in the words of my son, he goes, "Well, now we know."
Now we know.
Right. Whoa, what's that? What is this? Jay Clean, Billy right now? YouTube clip? Was he apologizing? What?
Maybe there's a counter show on over on another channel.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Be worth a watch, maybe. I'm going to go have a fast look just to see because I'm so curious. But
not everybody's a promoter, by the way, too. It's not just you see one promoter do good things, but can you continue that is the question. Can you really continue that? So, and that's what it comes down to. I do like the way this direction is going. If you have the money to do it, like I applaud, Knuckles Up. I applaud, what's it, the AWC? Is that Magnus event, AWC? Because the Monster Factory, Arm Gods, Arm Wars, because it gives you, not you, but it gives us athletes, aside from the King of the Table and the East versus West, options, right? It gives us options to say, hey, I can compete there, aside from all the tournaments that's been going on for years and years,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
anyway, buddy, time to put a bow on this sucker.
Yes. 7-second clip. All right. Well,
we'll check that out.
The trolls are out, I guess, huh?
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and hearing our story. And nothing but truth was spoken here today. And probably we're a lot nicer than we needed to be.
Yeah, because we could have went right into say F this, F him, F that, yada, yada, yada. We could have talked about the upcoming matches at your next event, who's on the card. But what we can do next Tuesday is talk about the results. Do we know if that's being live feed or not?
Don't know. We'll bring our stuff. I think Ward mentioned he could put it on my channel, so you might see it pop up. That, yeah.
Because if you do, I have nothing going on. I will take a peek at it and watch. So that'll be exciting because again, I'm excited because that's a version of like, hey, Border Wars or whatever. When you have Oh, go ahead.
Go on. I do have all of Earl's matches on the one arm recorded.
Yeah. So that right there, I mean, it's going to be important for you guys. Y'all been doing this tournament for a lot of years now, so that's exciting. So I'm hoping some way, somehow you can get that on your channel. I will take a peek if you do.
Right on.
So everybody, thanks a lot. I know we kind of ended this on a somber mood, but it had to be said because at the end of the day, as athletes, we don't want to be screwed. So take it for Ryan and myself. We don't want you guys to get the short end of a stick going forward. So,
yep. So long, everybody.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you guys next Tuesday when we talk about the results. What's the event called again?
Mansast Challenge.
So we will talk about the results after that. All right, everybody, take care. Enjoy your Tuesday. See you next week.